It has got to be a miserable existence to live a life where you are constantly vying for other people's attention. It's got to be incredibly lonely. It's got to be brutal to wake up every morning and look for ways to remain socially relevant. My generation, the millennials, there are many of us that are completely normal, but there is a segment of our generation that lives for validation. They base their self worth on social media likes and followers. They are attention seekers. Me personally, I'm the complete opposite. I don't like being the center of attention. Now, I know that might come as a surprise considering I'm the center of attention 12 times a week on this channel. But in a social setting, I don't want attention. I could give a fuck less about social media. I know some people that I went to high school with, they post everything, every little detail about their life on Facebook. They post pictures of the food they're eating for dinner. They post these ridiculous pictures standing in front of their cars. Look at me, I'm eating steak. Look at me, I'm standing in front of my Prius. Look at you, you're a fucking dumbass. Women are natural seekers of attention. It's just the way most women are. But when I say men doing it, I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. I just don't get it. The problem when you seek attention and validation from others instead of being confident and comfortable with yourself, you can never get enough of it. There is no amount of attention and validation that can fulfill your need. It's like a drug. The fix is only temporary. The emotional high only lasts for so long, and you spend the rest of your time chasing the high. It's no different than the crackhead smoking rock after rock, chasing the rush of that first high. When you're addicted to the drug of attention, you have to keep upping the ante to keep people invested in you. The claims you make become more and more ridiculous as you begin to run out of ideas to keep people interested. We saw an example of this yesterday with Megan Rapinoe. Oh, Meg, our favorite Easter egg. I'm not sure what color Meggie is painted right now. It could be purple, could be green, could be blue. Hell, it is non-binary Pride Month. Maybe Meg painted her egg every fucking color of the rainbow. Megan Rapinoe's my age, and she represents the absolute worst that the generation of millennials has to offer. She's a part of that select group of celebrities that are famous for doing nothing. But KC, Megan Rapinoe is an accomplished soccer player. Yeah, no one gives a shit about soccer, much less women's soccer in the NWSL. Being a recipient of woke welfare in the NWSL is not the reason that this omelet became one of the top selling items at Waffle House. The lesbian Easter Bunny played in the NWSL for 8 years before anyone besides her parents knew who the fuck she was. It wasn't until she bowed to her knees to become the female version of Colin Kaepernick that anyone started paying attention to Megan Rapinoe. And by anyone paying attention, I'm talking about the mainstream media. They claimed Megan Rapinoe was courageous for disrespecting the country that gives her the right to be gay. Go try to be a purple-haired lesbian lover in China. It's not necessarily illegal to be LGBT in China, but it's not exactly socially accepted either. If you're down with the gay in China, you are not allowed to be legally married. The Chinese government, they do not prohibit hate crimes against members of the LGBT community. Megan Rapinoe enjoys rights here in America that she would not experience pretty much anywhere else in the world. Yet somehow, America is homophobic. We need gender pay equity so I can make the same amount of money as the men, but still be a useless fuck. Speaking of gender pay equity, once her knees began to get sore from the constant kneeling and she began to lose attention for being a woke shitfuck, Megan Rapinoe devised a new plan to remain socially relevant. She began fighting for gender pay equity. Her boyfriend or girlfriend or non-binary organism, Sue Bird, started pushing for better pay in the WNBA. She wanted an increase in her woke welfare from being overpaid 75,000 times what she's worth to being overpaid 250,000 times what she's worth. Meg, she wanted the same woke welfare for women soccer players. This battle, It was fought for several years. It was finally actually resolved just earlier this year. The courts decided somehow women's soccer players should be paid equally to the men. In between that time, though, Meggie was losing attention over the gender pay issue. Court issues like that, it's a long, drawn-out process. It was impossible to keep people interested in Megan Rapinoe over the years, just over that one issue. So, what did she decide to do? She used the Olympics last summer to maintain her relevance in the mainstream. She starred in a Subway commercial, which tanked Subway's business so bad. Franchise owners revolted and begged corporate Subway to take the commercial off the air. Her breakout performance during the Olympics was leading her team of so-called Americans into the pregame woke prayer ritual. Any player who refused to get on her knees and pray to the oak tree was ostracized by Megan Rapinoe. The mainstream media fawned over this fine example of women empowerment and leadership. Yeah, because nothing says women empowerment like women getting on their knees. How fucking ridiculous is that? The same people whining and complaining about fake misogyny are the same people praising women who get on their knees. Meggie, she propelled the attention she received from the Olympics and found herself invited to high-profile events. Fashion Week in New York City, the Met Gala, all these important events where woke hugs are given away like champagne. Other than that, all through the winter and into the spring, we haven't really heard much from Megan Rapinoe. The attention she so badly craves disappeared. I remember last summer and a little bit into the fall, it seemed like we were talking about the woke antics of Megan Rapinoe at least once a week. Some weeks it could have been 2 or 3 times. But in 2022, I don't think I have made 5 videos about Megan Rapinoe. When an attention addict is deprived of attention, they find creative ways to get their fix. Yesterday on NPR, the consummate complainer, the ultimate victim, unleashed her latest attempt at remaining relevant. Megan Rapinoe was a guest on NPR, which I had forgotten even existed. I haven't heard anything about NPR in years. I think it's the place people go now who used to be relevant, used to have a little bit of name value, but people no longer give a shit about them. NPR's funded by the federal government. Maybe part of Meg's woke welfare contract is giving interviews to government radio. She should fit right in with NPR. The federal government under Joe Biden's full of lies and propaganda. Megan Rapinoe, as you know, is a proficient propagandist. I doubt they even had to prep her with bullshit before going on the air. The topic of Farid Benstiti was mentioned. Farid Benstiti. He used to have an esteemed career as a soccer player in Europe, but somehow in the summer of 2020, he found himself coaching the irrelevant OL Reign in Seattle, in the only league that rivals the WNBA as the biggest dump, the NWSL. What a fall from grace. This would be equivalent of Tom Brady carving out his legendary career in the NFL. Then years later, he's the head coach of a football team in Ethiopia. Farid Benstiti, he didn't last long in the NWSL, a mere 18 months. Apparently, his coaching style was too tough for the delicate little flowers in the NWSL. Megan Rapinoe accused her former head coach of fat shaming. Oh, that violator of the woke commandments. He told us he was taking our woke food stamps away because we were too out of shape to play soccer. Fat shaming. You know what they used to call that? Coaching. One of the main parts of a coach's job is to keep his players conditioned, keep his players in shape. Most people don't respond to nice, they respond to force. If the coach came up to Megan Rapinoe and said, I'm going to need you to be a leader, please. And when I say leader, I'm not talking about leading the woke prayer. I'm talking about getting your teammates on a fucking diet. She probably would have ignored him. But if the coach says, you're too fucking fat to play soccer, you need to lose some weight, then Megan Rapinoe knows he means business. There are too many people like Megan Rapinoe looking to be coddled, looking to be pampered. I remember when I was growing up, my dad used to tell me that the world's a mean place, a brutal place. No one's going to coddle you. You're not going to be given anything. Apparently, Megan Rapinoe's parents didn't raise her the same way. Not only does she want money for doing nothing, but she also wants to be pampered by her coach as she cashes her woke welfare checks. When pressed as to why it took her so long to come out with these baseless allegations, Megan Rapinoe said, "When you're only making $25,000 a year, you don't have autonomy over your rights. You're afraid to say anything and lose your woke welfare. It's not fair that we were put in this situation." First of all, if you're only making $25,000 a year, why would you be afraid to speak up and lose that job? You can find a job paying that kind of money tomorrow. And second, if you're only making 25 grand a year, you need to seriously evaluate your career path. Megan Rapinoe actually bragged to NBR about getting her coach fired over the supposed fat shaming. Just think about that. She is bragging because she got someone fired for being a coach. This woman absolutely disgusts me. If I'm Farid Benstiti, I would be happy I was fired from this dump. Who in the hell wants to walk into a locker room every day and have some purple-haired freak as the captain of your team? Megan Rapinoe is also full of shit. She did not wait this long to reveal this allegation because she was afraid of losing her lucrative NWSL paycheck. She waited until she fell out of the mainstream to reveal this bullshit to bring attention back on herself. This woman's the definition of attention-seeking behavior. I don't know how anyone coaches in the NWSL. It seems like every week, some overpaid players coming out with an accusation against their head coach. And who wants to be paid pennies to deal with the bullshit from the ladies in the NWSL? You can't call me fat, I'm a woman. You can't call me fat, I'm non-binary. You can't call me fat, it's fat shaming. Know what else I can't call you? Relevant. But let me know what you think. Megan Rapinoe, the ultimate seeker of attention, finding another creative way to make herself relevant. Am I the only one that thinks this woman is absolutely repulsive? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.